Welcome once again to Commander by Danon. Today we start our series of decks led by the new legendary creatures from The Hobbit. And who better to kick us off than the master of the Lonely Mountain himself, Smaug the Magnificent. Smaug the Magnificent is a 4-mana 4/3 legendary dragon with flying and haste. Whenever he attacks, he deals damage equal to the number of treasures we control to any target. Also, at the beginning of our upkeep, we create a treasure token. The folk of Durin dug too deeply into Khazad-dûm and were driven forth by a creature of legend, known only as Durin's Bane. Eventually, we discover that it was a Balrog. Now, you'd think that the dwarves would have learned their lesson and would stop trying to dig too deeply and too greedily, but no, digging is second nature to a dwarf, just like how snarky poetry is second nature to an elf. But unlike the mines of Moria, the riches uncovered in the mines beneath Erebor, called the Lonely Mountain in the tongues of men, drew a creature far greedier and ruthless than a simple Balrog. It drew Smaug, the great and powerful. He was the last of the great worms and had grown enormous over the centuries. He descended upon the mountain in flames and drove the dwarves from their stronghold. And there he lay, content on his vast and uncountable treasure for almost 2 centuries, until a stupid burglar came to disturb him. Now, this version of Smaug wants us to collect as many treasures as possible, hopefully 40 of them, so we can one-shot an opponent when we attack. Normally, when I build a deck, I include treasure generators as part of our ramp package. But not today. Today, we are hoarding treasure, as is proper behavior for a dragon. I wanted to make a quick note about this deck's budget. This video was recorded about a month before the set officially releases, so we may be missing some cards that get previewed in the future. Additionally, Smaug is currently pre-ordering for $80. That is an absurd price, and I don't see him staying there. The only reason Mythic cards in Standard ever hit that price is that they're both format warping and in a set that doesn't sell well. I don't see the Hobbit selling poorly, but we'll have to see. So this will be a Bracket 3 deck. Apologies to your wallet. But before we get to our deck list, a quick word from our sponsor, BCW. BCW has been making high-quality, cost-effective products for both collectors and retailers for over 40 years. If you want to store, display, or sort your cards, check them out. I've been using their inner sleeves for years now and have never had an issue. Be sure to click the link down below and use code DANON10 for a 10% discount on your order. In order to build a functional commander deck, you need lots of different pieces, which is why I try to rely on my handy-dandy checklist. 50 mana sources, usually split between 37 lands and 13 pieces of ramp, 10 pieces of card advantage, 8 to 10 pieces of spot removal, 2 to 3 board wipes, 2 pieces of graveyard hate, and 1 sudden I win card. Real quick, before we get to our deck list, I do occasionally stream on this channel, and if you see me live, come say hi. I'll be building commander decks either for patrons or for future videos, so make sure you're subscribed and click the bell icon so you'll get notified when I'm live. Our land base consists of Treasure Vault, Mines of Moria, Dragon-Cursed Halls, Scavenger Grounds, War Room, Rogue's Passage, and 30 mountains. Yes, I know that the Lonely Mountain would be thematic for this deck, but it makes dwarves, and Smaug already got rid of them years ago. Our mana ramp package consists of Sword of Hearth and Home, Sword of Feast and Famine, Soul Ring, Mana Vault, Arcane Signet, Fire Diamond, Mind Stone, Thought Vessel, Thrawn Dynamo, Gauntlet of Power, Throne of Eldraine, Mana Geyser, and Dragon's Desire. Wait a minute, Danon, why do you have swords in there? This isn't a Voltron deck, and it's silly to have a dragon equip things. Dear viewer, Smaug was canonically equipped. His entire underside was covered in a thick sheet of metal, except for a single hollow of his left breast as bare as a snail out of its shell. I'm sure there were at least a few swords mixed in with all that gold. For card advantage, we've got Big Score, Unexpected Windfall, Seize the Spoils, Bonehorde Dracosaur, Pirate's Pillage, Collector's Vault, Inspired Tinkering, Jeska's Will, Thrill of Possibility, and Wheel of Misfortune. Yes, that is a lot of cards that produce treasures. Why do you ask? Our interaction and spot removal package consists of Shiny Impetus, Hell to Pay, Abrade, Lightning Bolt, Insult Injury, Pillage, Deflecting Swat, Vandal Blast, Untimely Malfunction, Cleansing Wildfire, Tybalt's Trickery, Bolt Bend, and Return the Favor. A couple of treasure generators, which is the core theme of our deck, but mostly good spells to keep our opponent's stuff on the table. Our board wipes consist of Desolation of Smaug, Spiteful Banditry, Blasphemous Act, and Chandra's Ignition. Gotta love removing everything in our path. The core of our deck consists of Stormkiln Artist, Descent into Avernus, the Reaver Cleaver, Zorn, Diamond Pickaxe, There and Back Again, Sword of Wealth and Power, Ancient Copper Dragon, Cavern Horde Dragon, Ganax Astral Hunter, and Gold Lust Triad. Yes, I went with a few extra dragons, because why not? Supporting our plan, we've also got Great Train Heist, Fiery Emancipation, Aggravated Assault, Scourge of the Throne, Full Throttle, Genji Glove, Swiftfoot Boots, Lightning Greaves, Commander's Plate, Mithril Coat, Darksteel Plate, and Hammer of Nazan. Wanted lots of ways to protect our commander as well as some extra combat effects. Now that we have our deck list, let's compare it to our checklist. 48 mana sources, but between 35 lands and 13 pieces of ramp. I know that's a bit light, but we have a ton of treasures we can use if absolutely necessary. 11 pieces of card advantage, 13 pieces of interaction, 4 board wipes, 1 piece of graveyard hate in Scavenger Grounds, 1 sudden I win card in Fiery Emancipation. In order for Smaug to kill a single player, we need at least 40 treasures. With Fiery Emancipation on board, we only need 14. Less if they've already taken damage. Now, I know that some of you are looking at the price tag on this deck. You could easily drop this to a bracket 2 and run other cheaper treasure generators, like Strike It Rich or Brass's Bounty. Mana Vault can be replaced with Gilded Lotus, and that alone will save you $100. Are you planning on building a Smaug the Magnificent Commander deck? What's your secret deck tech? Leave a comment below. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, a huge shout out to my editor Cutestuff. I couldn't make these videos without her. If you'd like to hire her to edit your own videos, she can be reached at cutestuff.edits@gmail.com. Link is down below. If you're looking for ways to support the channel directly, you can head on over to patreon.com/Danon. You can have a video made or just ask for help building or tuning a deck list. I also wanted to give a quick shout out to all of my patrons. Waffles, Marcus, Brett, Roxy, Alix, Robert, Pi, Kazaris, Patrick, Boomy, Osira, Sleech, Luke, Mr. Salty, Daniel Zombie, Brian, Waka, Talathia, Azander, Michael, and John. You guys are awesome. I post new Commander Deck videos every weekday, so be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified of new videos. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all again next time on Commander by Danon.